I'm Drew Ratichek of American Combative Systems. This is Assistant Coach Gary Norbrotten. We're going to be covering a couple of reversal scenarios and a submission for ground and pound for mixed martial arts, as opposed to focusing on these moves for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purposes. This particular one, we trap the arm, and after the reversal, we're going to be looking for a submission on this. We start off here. We're starting in half guard. In half guard in mixed martial arts, in a lot of cases, I'm going to be looking to control the arms. I want to make sure that I'm not taking too much punishment from punches. So in this case, my arms are on the outside. I'm looking to hook his arm here, control his arm here with my head and with my right hand as well. Both my feet are on the outside of his leg. Now, in this situation, especially as a lot of people may be right-handed, he stays down close chest to chest, and he starts working some punches here to the body, to the head, etc. One of the things that I'm looking for is I'm looking to trap his arm while he's punching with my backside hand right here. So I'm going to put this hand up, palm facing up. Notice my palm is facing away from his back. And while I'm trying to control his punches in this position, I'm waiting for him to pull that arm far enough back, either for a large punch or in an effort to get his wrist free. Either one of those scenarios will work, and as his hand comes back, this is where I'm grabbing. Palm facing up towards the ceiling, thumb on the outside. I cup his hand and I cup his wrist, and I retain this with both hands right here. I don't want to let go and use only one hand, as he'll be able to get free. I hold with two hands. Now I switch my half guard position to both feet on the inside. And this is important. I bring my hips underneath his body to take his balance off. And from this position, I post and I drive him over strong side. Just like this. From this position right here, I want to retain his arm, but I want to be careful and not get rolled over onto my arm where he can reverse me like this. And I also want to make sure that he can't turn belly down. I want to keep him right here on his side. So when I'm in this position, I keep my arm locked tight, I keep my knuckles on the mat, and I keep his weight on his arm. I also keep my weight on his body. Notice my chest is down. From this position right here, I have a secure position. I still have half guard. I like this position for ground and pound. And here, I'm able to open up with punches to the face with this left hand. And of course, he has to bring his arm around to defend. When he does, I slide my hand above the elbow and under the head, trapping the head. And as soon as I do, pull my hand free, releasing this arm, and I move like a bulldozer. I keep my weight on him, and I just roll him back flat, just like this, trapping his arm underneath my armpit. From this position to finish, unlike a traditional head and arm choke, when I grab my hands here, I'm not going to put pressure into my shoulders and into my chest. I'm going to put pressure into my hips and stomach, and I'm going to pull up on his shoulders and chest for the tap. From a different angle, do the same thing. Here I am looking for control. I'm using my head to control his arm, using my hand to control his arm, and he stays chest to chest. He starts working for ground and pound with his right hand here, and of course I'm going to be trying to stop this. Two things I'm looking for. Either for him to pull his arm back really far for a big punch, or if I'm controlling his wrist, for him to pull his hand back in an attempt to get his wrist free. When he does, this hand is reaching across his back, palm up. Back of my hand to his back, palm facing the ceiling. As he pulls this arm back for the punch, I sneak it underneath. Grip nice and tight with two hands right here. As soon as I do, notice my feet. I switch my feet so that both my feet are on the inside, bring my hips underneath his body, and I post with my right leg here. As soon as I do, I bridge and drive him up, and I retain the trap right here. Notice his arm is still caught behind his back. My arm is straight up and down like a pole, and all of his weight is on his arm. From this position, I still have half guard. This is where I start working my ground and pound. I can either punch to the body, which is very underrated, something that should be done a lot, punch straight here to the body, and then I come back to the head. If I'm striking to the head, he has no choice but to block. When his arm comes out to block, this is what I'm looking for. I pull my arm back, I come down and feed directly above his elbow and under his head, trapping his arm. Now the key to keeping him from escaping is to get my belly to his belly. So as soon as I land here, I extract my trap arm and I roll his body flat like a bulldozer. I push straight forward. Bulldoze him flat, chest to chest, belly to belly. From this position, as opposed to lifting up and putting my weight on him here like this, I actually want to keep all my weight down here in the hips and in my stomach. And when I do, you can either grab your bicep to look for the finish, or you can just do a gable grip from this position. As soon as I do, I'm going to push down in my hips and belly and pull up with my arms and shoulders for the tap.